I hope you're all doing well today. In this short video I'm going to be ranking 22 different shoulder exercises based on their muscle building effectiveness. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, whether you agree or disagree on the ranking. So we'll get straight into it. Okay, so I'm going to run through these fairly quickly. First machine, Techno gym style shoulder press. Typical sort of run-of-the-mill shoulder machine that you see in most gyms in the UK. See, not really set up that well. Trajectory's way off, the handles aren't in the right position compared to the backstop. Barbell upright row, going to put that as a B. Middle of the pack, fairly decent exercise. Standing shoulder press with a single dumbbell, I think it's one of the most underrated and underused exercises. Really solid. This next machine, I'm going to put it as a C, probably slightly better than the Techno gym style, but not that good in my opinion. Barbell seated press, going to put that as an S. You're going to lift the most weight on this exercise out of any of the shoulder compounds. That has to count for something. And yes, you're going to be using your upper chest slightly if you lean back, but you would on the overhead press anyway. And on this, you've got the added advantage of having a back support, so you'll be able to lift more weight. And this list is about pure shoulder stimulation, and for that reason it's an S. So the next exercise is the rear delt machine here. I've never used it, never seen it, but as far as rear delt training would go, I'd imagine it to be very effective because the trajectory is fixed. I'm going to put it as a B. Problem with rear delt training is that it's quite awkward for a lot of beginners and even intermediates to get right. Trajectory of the movement is very important. The rear delt pec deck, not a fan. The wrist position is really awful on some of these machines, like you feel hindered by your wrist comfort as opposed to being able to stimulate the back of the shoulders. So rear dumbbell delt flies, could put as a B, solid exercise. Cable flies for the rear delts would be slightly better, but not quite enough to be an A in my opinion. I mean, I could go on and on with these isolations. I've only included a few because there'd just be, just so many different variations. Be here all day. With the machine press, kind of typical upright machine press, plate loaded, probably the best machine that you're going to get really for shoulders. I don't think it's amazing, and it'd be hard to put a machine up unless it is amazing on the S&A ranks. So the barbell overhead press, going to put that as an A, not quite an S. You're bottlenecked by your ability to keep your torso rigid. Yes, you can lean back and use your upper chest, much the same as a seated barbell, but you're not going to lift as much weight as a seated barbell because you haven't got the seat support. So for that reason it would be an A, and this list is pure shoulder stimulation. So the lateral raise machine here, it's okay. I'm going to put it as a C. I think again you depend on how well the machine's set up as to the effectiveness of that particular movement. Landmine press, not a fan, could put it as D. Kettlebell press, one of the most underrated pressing movements for shoulders. You've got an increased range of motion over the dumbbell, about 3 inches. Really solid, but difficult to get up in a position. You're going to be hindered by that clean, and could be a little bit uncomfortable, but wrist wrap across there would help that. High pull, not the best in terms of shoulder stimulation, but a very good exercise. Typically you want to go a little bit wider than that with the grip. I'm going to put it as a C. Same as the front raises, good isolation, but you don't really want to be spending too much time doing these if you're doing a lot of pressing, in my opinion. Face pull's not a fan at all. D, I just prefer the flying movements. Okay, the upright row with a dumbbell, one of the most underrated shoulder exercises ever. Really solid, similar movement to the upright row, but you use more weight. I just think it's a good exercise. Dumbbell press, it's got to be an A. Would be higher if not for the fact that first rep is so debilitating, and it's going to bottleneck your ability to use the kind of weights that you potentially could be using if you can't get the weight up into position and press from that kind of dead start. So for that reason it wouldn't be an S. Dumbbell lateral raises, I'd say probably slightly more effective from a bodybuilding perspective than front raises. This, out of all the exercises, is the one that I see performed incorrectly the most. Got to get that technique right. Cable flyers would be slightly higher than dumbbell flyers in my opinion. Perhaps not quite enough to be an A though, but a solid movement, one of the best shoulder isolations going. And Untitled Press, it's got to be an S. Fantastic movement. I've done these recently and seen tremendous gains in my shoulders. From this position, you can't use upper chest, so yes, the weight that you'll be utilising will be lower than some of the other movements, i.e. the overhead press and the seated press, but all of the tension is on the delts. There's no assistance from any other pressing muscles. So fantastic movement in my opinion, and really underused. It's got this stigma about it. It's really bad for the shoulders. It's not the case. If you perform it right, you'll never have any problems. So that's my list, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thank you for watching once again, and stay strong.